Kazuya is dumped by his girlfriend Mami. Being depressed, he uses a rental girlfriend app and rents Mizuhara. They go on a date to the aquarium where he falls for her, but he later finds out Mizuhara was just acting. Salty Kazuya rents Mizuhara again to show his small energy. Mizuhara lashes back at him and Kazuya apologizes. Kazuya gets a call that his grandmother has been admitted into the hospital. They rush over and Mizuhara is introduced to Kazuya's family as his girlfriend. Mizuhara's grandmother turns out to be a friend of Kazuya's grandmother, and they are both very happy that their grandchildren are dating. Later we find out that Mizuhara is actually studying at the same university and is Kazuya's neighbor. Kazuya's grandmother calls saying that she is visiting him and his girlfriend. Kazuya begs Mizuhara to make an appearance but is rejected. She pressures Kazuya to come clean about the fake relationship. But after overhearing Kazuya's grandmother complain about what a slob he is, she decides to save him. They make an agreement that Kazuya will rent her every week to visit his grandmother together. On the way back, they bump into Kazuya's friends and Kazuya introduces Mizuhara. The friends invite them for dinner and they meet Kazuya's ex-girlfriend Mami. Mami starts to badmouth Kazuya and Mizuhara stands up for him, but the spineless Kazuya sides with Mami. Later that night, Mami finds drunk Kazuya on his way home and invites him over to her house. Then she makes an excuse about her house not being available and horny Kazuya offers his house instead. She rejects Kazuya and he realizes he made a fool of himself and runs away. He meets Mizuhara and apologizes, which she accepts. In the beach episode, we see Mami's alter ego. Coincidentally, Mizuhara is at the beach as well and they go to the washroom for a rendezvous. Mami investigates to find a stacked Mizuhara. Salty Mami then invites Kazuya to a secluded area to make out with him. Mami backs away and asks Kazuya to forget about what just happened. They rejoin the group and Kazuya decides to announce that him and Mizuhara are breaking up. Kazuya's childhood friend Kibe punches Kazuya and a brawl breaks out. Kibe calls out Kazuya for not being able to appreciate Mizuhara and calls out Mami on her flirting with Kazuya even when she was the one who dumped him. The fight settles and Mizuhara meets Kazuya alone. Mizuhara comforts Kazuya that he is doing the right thing and they part ways. Kibe approaches Mizuhara and tries to convince her to stay with Kazuya while Kazuya watches them from the bushes. Kibe offers 2 ferry tickets to Mizuhara, asking them to make up. They board the ferry, but Mizuhara is unwell and falls overboard. Kazuya rushes to her aid and jumps off the ferry to save her. Kazuya manages to bring Mizuhara to shore and she awakens. However, Kazuya is unresponsive and Mizuhara begins CPR in an attempt to save him. Kazuya begins to breathe and they are soon found by ferry rescue. The two are admitted into a hospital and they are soon discharged. Upon reaching home, Kazuya starts to masturbate to a picture of Mami. He fantasizes about Mami but finishes to Mizuhara. In his post-nut clarity, he realizes that he loves Mizuhara. Kazuya's family goes on a hot spring trip with Mizuhara's grandmother. Kazuya is given his own set of keys and in his room he finds Mizuhara. They realize they have been set up by their grandparents and confront them to no avail. Kazuya and Mizuhara give up and have dinner together. Kazuya takes his futon to sleep in the bathroom, but Mizuhara stops him and asks him to sleep in the same room. Kazuya begins to fantasize about Mizuhara. She notices and kicks him. She warns him and they go to sleep. Kazuya is unable to sleep and asks Mizuhara if he can continue to rent her. He explains that he can feel himself changing for the better when he is with her. Mizuhara understands him and says the best way to fix the situation is to get a real girlfriend. Kazuya's friend Shun tells them that he found a girlfriend. He proposes a double date and we meet Ruka. They start their date in a rock climbing gym. Soon after, Ruka approaches Mizuhara alone and asks her if she is a rental girlfriend. Mizuhara tries to deny it but Ruka is not convinced. Mizuhara tells Kazuya of the situation and approaches Ruka again. Ruka challenges Mizuhara to kiss Kazuya to prove that they are dating. Mizuhara pulls Kazuya in but covers his lips with her fingers and covers their faces. Ruka is still not convinced. The 4 of them soon part ways and Kazuya chases after Ruka to convince her not to spill the secret. Ruka tells him to go away and by some accident he gets a feel. He continues to chase her and asks her to promise that she will not reveal his secret. Ruka runs away but trips. Kazuya protects her as they fall down the stairs. Ruka then confesses that she is a rental girlfriend as well. The next day, Ruka looks for Kazuya in his college. Shun appears and they are forced to hide. Ruka measures her heart rate and Shun discovers them together. Ruka thanks Shun for renting her and Shun realizes that his secret is out. Embarrassed, he runs away. Later, Ruka appears at Kazuya's apartment building. Ruka promises to never reveal his secret and asks him to be her boyfriend. She's attracted to his kindness because he goes to great lengths even for a rental girlfriend like Mizuhara. Mizuhara, who has been listening in, tells Ruka that the rental girlfriend situation is out of necessity and that she is blackmailing Kazuya. Kazuya decides to confess to Shun about Mizuhara and flees. Ruka chases him down but Kazuya firmly rejects her. Ruka starts crying and we see that Ruka has a low heart rate. She became a rental girlfriend when she heard her classmates talking about love, thinking it would help her condition. She wants to be with Kazuya because only with him does her heart beat faster. Kazuya gives in and agrees to date Ruka. Ruka is very clingy, so Kazuya lies to her to get some alone time. On Christmas Eve, Kazuya spots Mizuhara at the train station. She meets a handsome guy and Kazuya realizes he could be her real boyfriend. He feels jealous and stalks them. He follows them on their date and observes while they buy presents for each other. He realizes that they are truly dating and decides to stop. But he meets the guy in the bathroom and overhears his conversation about Mizuhara. They talk about her dimensions, getting costumes, and Kazuya realizes Mizuhara may be getting taken advantage of. He decides to follow them again and he tries to stop them from kissing. He confronts them and Mizuhara explains that the guy Umi was just trying to adjust her earrings. She's taking acting classes and uses the rental girlfriend job to pay for them. Umi is her classmate and nothing more. Umi clarifies that he was recommending Mizuhara to a casting director and leaves. Kazuya is embarrassed and apologizes to Mizuhara for stalking her. Mizuhara hands the gift from earlier to Kazuya. She apologizes for letting Kazuya deal with the whole Ruka situation alone, and the gift was her token of apology. Kazuya is overwhelmed with joy and thanks her for the first gift he ever received from a girl for Christmas. Back home, Kazuya admires his gift but finds out that other clients have gotten gifts too. On his next date with Mizuhara, they bump into Ruka and Ruka accuses him of cheating on her. She takes him away, blindfolds him, and brings him to a hotel room. Ruka demands an explanation about his relationship with Mizuhara and Kazuya fills her in. To solve their problem, Ruka suggests introducing her to his family as the girlfriend. Kazuya refuses, explaining that his grandmother is fond of Mizuhara. Ruka insists that Mizuhara is unable to carry on the family name, but she is. Kazuya locks himself in the bathroom and Ruka notices a text from Kazuya's grandmother Nagomi. She then decides to leave. On New Year's, Mizuhara meets with Kazuya's family to visit the shrine together. Ruka appears and Kazuya introduces her as Mizuhara's friend. Ruka introduces herself as his girlfriend and Nagomi confronts Kazuya alone. She accuses Kazuya of cheating on Mizuhara but he explains that Ruka is a pathological liar. At the same time, Mizuhara confronts Ruka. Ruka asks Mizuhara if she has feelings for Kazuya and if that is why she is dragging the situation out. While eating, Ruka notices something is off. She confronts Kazuya and she decides to expose him to Nagomi herself. But before she could say anything, Nagomi asks Ruka if Mizuhara behaves the same around friends. She asks about Mizuhara's hobbies, favorite foods, and Ruka realizes Nagomi was not interested in the family line, she is interested in Mizuhara. Kazuya later apologizes to Ruka and thanks her for not exposing the secret. Ruka tells Kazuya she realized it's not the right time, but she will continue to play the long game. Kazuya and Ruka have a part-time job at the karaoke bar. Kazuya's friends see him working and Kibi informs him that Shun is depressed. Kazuya asks Ruka to apologize to Shun for exposing him, but Ruka refuses. At home, Kazuya asks Mizuhara to go on a date with Shun, explaining that he does not want Shun to be afraid of women because of the incident. Kazuya asks Shun to meet him at the train station, but instead of Kazuya, Mizuhara appears. She introduces herself as a rental girlfriend, and Shun is doubtful, so he checks the rental girlfriend website. He follows her but remains doubtful. He does not believe that Mizuhara is not Kazuya's girlfriend because Kazuya once jumped off a ship to save her. He thinks he's getting made fun of and decides to leave, but Mizuhara convinces him to stay. They continue their date in the amusement park. At the end of the date, Shun offers to pay Mizuhara, but she says that she has already been paid. They spot Kazuya watching them and Mizuhara gives the two boys some alone time. Kazuya apologizes to Shun and confesses that Mizuhara is not his girlfriend. Shun bursts out laughing and forgives him. He thanks Mizuhara for the date and they go for their separate ways. At home, Kazuya receives an invitation from Mizuhara. She explains that she needs a favor. She wants Kazuya to go on a practice date with a rental girlfriend colleague, Sumi. Sumi is too shy and has even received negative feedback from clients. Kazuya goes on a date with Sumi. He introduces himself but she does not speak. Mami spots them on their date and follows them. Kazuya asks Sumi to practice her smiling. Sumi tries her best but fails. They go to the bowling alley and Sumi does not know how to bowl. Kazuya asks her why she wants to be a rental girlfriend and Sumi replies with her hands. She wants to change herself and be less shy. Kazuya leaves to get a drink and spots a group of men approach Sumi. They touch her inappropriately and Kazuya steps in, taking her away. Sumi thanks Kazuya and decides to hold his hand. Mami continues to stalk them. Sumi tries her best at different activities. At the skating rink, she falls and Kazuya tries to help her up but trips and gives her a kabedon. His nose starts to bleed and he leaves to clean up. When he comes back, Mami is there to confront him. Mami asks for some time alone with Kazuya and she asks if Mizuhara knows about Sumi. Kazuya replies no, and Mami says she will keep his two-timing a secret. She says that she is surprised to see how Kazuya has changed and leaves. Later, Kazuya tells Sumi that it was nice to see her putting in the effort and that he had a good time. They part ways. At home, Mami is confused about why she is obsessed with Kazuya. She decides to find Sumi's social media but finds her rental girlfriend website instead. Mizuhara thanks Kazuya for helping her with Sumi. She then explains that she is considering quitting her rental girlfriend job because she landed a major role in a play, but it will not be immediate. The next day, Mizuhara goes on her usual rental girlfriend date, but it turns out that Mami is the client. They go to the karaoke bar and Kazuya spots them entering a room together. Mizuhara asks Mami why did she rent her, but Mami walks over to her and asks her to sing. Mizuhara sings and Mami compliments her. Kazuya begins to eavesdrop on them. Mami congratulates Mizuhara on her acting performance, being a rental girlfriend to Kazuya for a year. Mami explains that she has no intention of criticizing Mizuhara's job, but Kazuya spending money to rent her and show her off to his friends pisses her off. Kazuya is guilty that Mizuhara is taking the heat for him, but she has done nothing wrong. They leave and Kazuya decides to make himself vomit to skip work and chase after them. Mami tells Mizuhara that this date was just to show that she knows what's going on and she will keep the secret. Mizuhara asks about how Mami feels about Kazuya. She explains that Kazuya once said he swore to himself to make Mami happy. Mami avoids the question and directs the same question back at her. Mizuhara says that all she needs to know is that Kazuya is her boyfriend. Mami tries to leave and Mizuhara stops her. Mizuhara pleads with Mami to give Kazuya a second chance, saying that he may be the one that will make her happy. Mami spots Kazuya and replies that it is none of her business. Back home, Kazuya tells Mizuhara that he saw everything. He apologizes and thanks her for standing up for him. Mizuhara apologizes that she could not find him a girlfriend and Kazuya is touched that she put his feelings first. He exclaims, "It's you. You are the one I want." Mizuhara asks him to clarify and he lies that he just meant he wants her as a rental girlfriend and leaves in a hurry. We see that Mizuhara does not believe his excuse. And with that, we come to the end of the season.